Hey there, BookTube. How's it going? Bookish Bryant's in the house. First off, that's for sure. You guys always rock. Thank you so much, Becky and Scott, for for just being right on it and always supporting me. That's for sure. I got a pretty cool, a pretty cool night ahead. That's for sure. A glass of scotch. That's what I'm talking about. What kind of scotch you got, Scott? Um, I saw a post by Mark Richardson in the on the Instagrams, and he was talking about monkey shoulder. That's an awesome blend. That's an awesome blend of scotch. Uh, if you're not gonna go for like a single malt, then I definitely recommend the monkey shoulder. How's everybody tonight? We'll see how it's looking. Let me see if I can. I'm gonna try to pull up the YouTube studio as well, so then I can actually see the YouTube studio, so I can see who's all I mean, whatever's going on. Yeah, Monkey Shoulder rocks. What's up, Room Note? Nice to see you, brother, for sure. Uh, always good. Yeah, Monkey Shoulder rocks. To the lit house, Yasmin. Yasmin is one of the most awesome readers that I've ever done a buddy read with. And we are uniquely fitted to explore Borges. And it has been an amazing thing. And we're going to get to that in a little bit later in the stream. Moto Hero, my buddy. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Middleton's is good. C.S. Miller. Moto Hero is C.S. Miller Books. C.S. Miller Books on Instagram. And if you're not following, do yourself a favor and follow C.S. Miller Books. He's a seller. He's got his own little warehouse up there in New York, and it is great stuff all over the place. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right. So, looking good. And y'all let me know if the sound's good and everything like that. I got a little bit of a different setup. I'm using a different camera, and I've used this for the last couple of videos that I made, so I'm pretty confident in it. That's why I put it in my live, and I'm just going ahead and using it. So y'all just let me know if everything's cool. Four Roses is not a Scotch whiskey, right? Four Roses is like a Tennessee whiskey, but it is cool. Thanks, Yasmin. Uh, Four Roses is good, very good. I used to work at a liquor store years ago before I was doing AT&T construction and bourbon. That's right. That's right. Four Roses is bourbon. Very cool. What's up, Andrew? Starscream live in the house. Mm. Andrew is a wonderful reader as well. Andrew Starscream live over there is has been instrumental to the David Foster Wallace videos that I'm going through and doing on my channel. David Foster Wallace's Oblivion. So more to come on that. I've just scratched the surface, done the first three stories, and we got about 15 people watching right off the rip. So we're good to go. Hey, Summer, nice to see you. We're good to go. So first off, of course, haul action, right? I have not hauled very much over this last week. I'm not um, going and buying many books. It's going to be a thing that I do over this year. I'm not going to go and buy many books. We'll see how well that holds up because that's just how I am. I love, I love books. So I'm going to go to bookstores and I'm going to get things that I want. But more than likely I'm going to be getting hardcovers of things that I have just in a paperback form that I read, that I love, that I want to keep something on the shelf that is going to last for longer. And then also there's always that mental list of books that I'm just going to keep out a lookout for. But I went to a thrift store today, and I found a couple cool things, and we're going to touch on a little bookish problem as well, just the problem of the book lover, you know what I mean? So first thing is I got a really cool copy, and this is the UK edition of Flannery O'Connor's complete short stories. You can see the style is just right for Flannery O'Connor's short stories. This has everything, just like the American edition that I have. Introduction by Robert Griot. Too cold to go book hauling. Not in Georgia, baby. Let me tell you. I was outside yesterday. It was 60 degrees outside. I was in t-shirt. You know what I mean? It's not cold here, buddy. It's rained for like the past 2 days here. Not a chance of snow. It's not happening. Yes, southern UK. So I saw it. It was a buck, so I grabbed it. Even though I do have the American edition, but I love this, and you see it completely unread, right? You can see that spine. That spine is pristine, completely pristine. You will not be disappointed with Flannery O'Connor's short stories, Yasmin. They are very short and very powerful. Very, very cool. Tomorrow's high is 0. That's insane. I don't know if I can handle that. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Yasmin, I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So I didn't grab my other book. I was thinking about it this whole, I take like an hour to plan out and to try to think of what I'm going to do on my live around here and things like that. And I still forget to grab a book. So I was going to grab the first collection of short stories by this author that I got a new book by, but I had forgot to grab it. I have it out on my bookshelf, and it's an amazing short story collection. But I've heard so much about this next one that I had to get it. And have you ever gone to a bookshop and seen a book, not bought it, and then for the next like week and a half, you're just thinking about that book, and you're just random times it just kind of pops in your brain. This is what was happening with this book, so I knew that when it comes down to it, I need to go pick it up. I'm gonna keep thinking about it, and I got Exhalation by Ted Chiang. This is the first edition hardcover. It's very, very well done. You can see the writing is, then it's gone. That's funny. Room note. This is Knopf, yeah, Knopf Publishing. This kind of light, gilded kind of, not gold, but maybe I can get it on the. I've heard too much about how awesome that this short story collection is, and I have not read it. Give you a little bit of the without the dust jacket on it. The book is very well done. Just blue in papers, and the deckled edges. I don't mind the deckled edges. I like deckled edges. I'm always turning my pages from the top or the bottom. More likely the bottom. I turn my pages just like this, just a thumb on it. But The Merchant and the Alchemist's Gate is the story number one. Exhalation, What is Expected of Us, the Life Cycle of Software Objects, Dacey's Patent Automatic Nanny, The Truth of Fact, The Truth of Feeling, The Great Silence, Omphalos, and Anxiety is the Dizziness of Freedom. That is the stories that are in here. There is a little small section of uh, there is a small section of story notes to this. It just seems great, and I'll give you guys an author photo real quick. You know, Steve Donahue's uh, Steve Donahue's recommendations are not or approval has no bearing on this channel. That's for sure. Definitely not my style. So I had to get it. That was the one. Like I said, Yasmin and I are going through Borges, so I had hit her earlier and said I got a surprise. There's a couple, maybe two, right? Videos on the To the Lit House, that channel where she's exploring a couple of the stories that are from Exhalation, and very intriguing, very well done, and I can't wait to get to the short story collection. If you want to, let's buddy read some of those for sure. So I had gone to welcome to the channel, Donna Huguenot. Donna Huguenot, number 59. First time I've seen you on the channel, and a fantastic name. I love it. I love it. And yeah, feel free to tell Steve everything. He might be here in a little bit. Steve likes coming by the lives, and we have some fun. That's for sure. But you know, everybody. The thing about YouTube that is so good. First time here, and you're very welcome here. That's for sure. Um, the thing about BookTube is everybody, every reader has different reading tastes, really, and it's so wonderful to have a place where we can go, subscribe to so many different ones, and just see what all these people are reading and all these different readers love. That that might be Steve in disguise, but I doubt it, because if it was Steve in disguise, he'd already have, three or four kind of paragraph long uh, messages in the chat. Am I right? So I wanted to. I forgot. I'll go ahead and start now. Just doing this kind of thing, right? But I think that there is a way for me to automate this, for me to make it so that the chat goes just kind of by itself. And I wish that I knew how to do it. Maybe not. Maybe there is no way for me to do it. But I thought that I had done that before. Just had these kind of messages popping up. Very cool. Thank you, Donna Huguenot. And yeah, I love talking about Borges. Let me tell you. Oh my God, it is ridiculous. So I had gone to a thrift store quite a bit ago, maybe like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and I got the Norton Anthology of World Literature, Volume A, and this is from beginnings to AD 100. So quite a bit of time, beginnings to AD 100. I don't know, but a lot of ancient world, Western world, ancient writing. There is, of course, a healthy bit of the Old Testament Bible, ancient Egyptian poetry. The Epic of Gilgamesh is in here. Homer, a bunch of Homer, Sappho, a bit of Sappho, a lot of Greek writers, a bit, just a little bit excerpts from Plato, Aristotle, and then there's Chinese writings, Confucius, Shangshu, and then there is the Ramayana from India, Mahabharata from India, but just excerpts because the Mahabharata is super long. Jataka Tales, Bhagavad Gita, some Virgil, stuff like that. Ancient world, right? I love it. I love it. So I got that one, and I'm gonna lay it out. And then I got at that same one a couple of months ago. I got volume B, right? And these were like a couple of bucks a piece. This is just you know, a steal. So I found both of these, volume A and volume B. And this is 100 to 1500 AD. So in here is all kinds of good stuff. China's middle period, what we would call the middle period. Tao Chian, some New Testament Bible, Augustine's Confessions, and some excerpts from some of his books. Lipo, Wan Chin, and then from Islam and Islamic literature, we have the Quran, excerpts from the Quran, of course, and Rumi, a bunch of Rumi poetry and stuff. That the excerpts from Thousand One Nights, Beowulf from Western literature, Beowulf, medieval lyric poetry, excerpts from Dante, Chaucer, and the like, right? All the way through 1500. So I had volume A and volume B, and I'm always on the lookout for more, right? So today I go to a thrift store, and I saw a volume C, right? So I just grabbed it because it's $1 at the thrift stores. That's nothing, right? It's just nothing. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get it. Oh man, I love Norton Critical Editions. I have a lot of Norton Critical Editions as well. Republic of Bad Taste for sure. Republic of Bad Taste is also a friend from Instagram. So you guys know what's up. You can go over and jump on that as well. Yeah, Moby Dick is the bomb. Yeah, Becky's got it all figured out, that's for sure. There's got to be one. There's got to be one, everyone. So I saw a Norton anthology, or yeah, Norton Anthology, Volume C. That's what I saw, and I just grabbed it and I put it in my hands, and I got it. But what I got is the Norton Anthology of American Literature, not world literature, American literature, Volume C. So I was pretty happy thinking that I got like the next volume, and what it turns out is you know I got American literature only, 1865 to 1914. We got Walt Whitman, Emily Dickinson, which of course, I mean, I own all of Emily Dickinson's stuff. Mark Twain, Henry Adams, Ambrose Bierce, some Native American chants and songs in here. Henry James, Kate Chopin, Booker T. Washington, Pauline Hopkins, Edith Wharton, and I'm not mad about it. but it's not what I thought I was grabbing. So there you go. Bookish problems, right? Where I just get, hey Christy, nice to see you. So I got this, but when it comes down to it, I didn't get what I thought I was getting. But it does have some Jack London in there, and I haven't read any Jack London. I've heard good things. I got turned on to just Jack London by reading and following Neil Peart from Rush. I did a read through and review of Ghostwriter, one of the first things that I did on my channel because Neil Peart had just passed um, when I had started my channel. So I read a Neil Peart, one of his travel writings. It was great. It was great to read it. But Neil Peart loved Jack London. He loved Jack London. So I figured I would check some out, maybe Martian Eden, right? But I have not found a cool one. Yep, we're having some fun. Very cool, Christy. Thanks for coming by, and it's awesome to see everybody around. Hey, Myers, Physical Musings. What a cool new channel. If y'all aren't aware, definitely check him out. He's definitely a cool new channel. And I thought I saw Call of the Wild is quite good. Thank you, Starscream Live. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And that is it for the haul action. I have not hauled much, and I'm not going to be hauling much if I stick to what I want to do because I have a lot of big books to read this year, and I don't want to really bog myself down. Am I right? Uh, you know, I don't want to get to where I'm feeling like, I should be doing something that I'm not doing, but I am actually doing what I want to do and all that mess, right? So this month, the read is Thomas Pynchon's Against the Day. And I am on page 336. This is amazing. Okay, it's just awesome. And I could tell you, this is the most accessible Thomas Pynchon that I've ever read. Um, I don't know why people would think that um, you go ahead and go for Bleeding Edge or Vineland or Inherent Vice as the first ones because all three of those are straight up Thomas Pynchon. They're dense reads, they're tough reads, kind of stuff. Okay, and I am loving this book. It is super accessible. I'm just reading it, you know. And so now that I've read it, see, when I did my Thomas Pynchon author spotlight, I had never read this. I hadn't read this yet. And after this, I will only have to read Mason and Dixon, and then I'll have all of Thomas Pynchon's books under my belt. I love Thomas Pynchon, but even in that author spotlight, I recommended Inherent Vice as a first read, and I recommended um, Bleeding Edge because it is a time period that we all lived through. And so it's more accessible in that way, right? But as far as storytelling, this is the most accessible Thomas Pynchon so far. I mean, arguably, I'm only through, one third of the book, right? So I'm through a third of it, but it's just great. I'm loving it, and I'm so glad that you really dug Bleeding Edge, Scott. Bleeding Edge might be my favorite, but we'll see. We'll see when I finish Against the Day because I really, really dig it. Of course, I watch Better Than Food's review of Gravity's Rainbow, man. I watch almost all of Better Than Food's videos. I watch a lot of BookTube. I really do, and I like to watch a lot of BookTube. I dig the community, so of course, yeah, I watched his cover of that, his little review of that, and I think he did good for sure. Gravity's Rainbow is tough to um describe, right? Just like Against the Day is going to be as well, though. Um, I'm thinking, how am I going to talk about this after I'm done reading it on my channel? How am I going to talk to anybody? So I feel like I might just go ahead and do a video like now, um, and do three videos. Do a video of the first third of it, do a video for the second third of it, and do a video for the third, and that will be like a full wrap up, right? Because when it comes down to it, there's so much to this book that there's not any way that I'm gonna really be able to um, do it justice with one video. But um, Cliff did a good job for sure. He definitely did a good job. All right, so I'll go ahead and show it just because I want to finish this up. Borges has um, has blown mine and Yasmin's mind again and again and again. Fictions is one of the most amazing short story collections, and they're not actually stories because there's not a lot of them do not have narrative structure like a beginning, middle, and end. They might set up a setting and a scene and then explore that or something like that. So a lot of them are thought experiments, things like that. But there are some that are fantastic narratives. The Garden of Forking Paths is one. But we are loving this read through, and we are uniquely fitted for exploring Borges. Why do I say that? Because Yasmin is Argentinian, and as is Borges. So much of the kind of culture that this is coming out of, and things. Yasmin is giving me a lot of insight into that. And the other aspects of the stories is esotericism, esoteric groups, Kabbalah, Western mystery schools, that kind of stuff. And if you've seen the bookshelf that's in the back of my videos, I stack books up on in front, but that bookshelf is fully dedicated to Kabbalah, Hermetics, Western esoteric ideas. So it has been turning out to be an amazing, amazing read through. Thank you, Christy. I appreciate that. And I see Danny. Hey, Danny. Thanks for coming by. Always cool. Very cool. Yeah, there's just so much going on. So, um, the other thing that I've been reading Against the Day, Borges, is More Than Human by Theodore Sturgeon, and I want to invite my boy Ben Shore from what is it, Bookshore. Ben from Bookshore to come on, and we're gonna get to it. So let's see if I can do this properly. What's up, Ben?
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Perfect. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, brother?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just finished the book like a half an hour ago, so I was deadlining it. So
Just like last live stream, man.
every time we
You
do this, there's
can
like stuff that pops up in the week.
you can crush it though. You can crush this. You can crush this stuff. So Theodore Sturgeon is a quick read. Am I right?
Yeah, it's pretty quick, pretty quick, pretty decent read. Like there was some parts where it might slow you down a bit because you're just kind of like, wait, what's going on? And he doesn't, but then he explains it after the fact.
Right. Let me see your cover
Yeah, yeah,
close
yeah.
up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it has a
All
cool.
right.
Actually, I just noticed it matches my jacket.
Nice. All right, so check this out though. You see all the
Oh,
characters.
that's like
There's
a huge spoiler, but it's not at the same time. Yeah.
Baby, Janie, the two twins, and
Yeah,
Gerald.
yeah.
So you wanna go ahead and kick this off, or you want me to?
I'll kick,
What is more than human about?
man. It's a little crazy. It's a little crazy, but it's like it's divided into three sections with all different characters in each section, but then it does culminate into like one cohesive story. And I don't know how much I should get into spoilers, but book slub. But the thing is,
We're gonna just talk it out. It's all good.
all right, so the pretty much the crux of the story, the simplest I can define it, is that you see the creation and the formation of a new human species called a gestalt, where that it's a mongoloid baby, kind of the brain. Then you have like two black girls who can teleport because they're psychic, and they have and then like you have Janie who's like can talk to the baby. It's kind of like the heart of the group, and then you have Jared, the little boy who was replaced by Lone, who was like an imbecile, as they described it in the book, who just wasn't mentally all there. But it's not that he was mentally handicapped. It was like he was like a totally he was like animal. He was like a different creature, and it gets
Right.
replaced by the kid Jared, who can read minds and is super smart and can just absorb people's information and how this new life form and how it has an effect throughout the novel. And it's really trippy stuff. And like there's anti-gravity machine that's like prominent but not super important. It's just weird. It's like a plot point, but it's just to show, I guess, how dangerous this gestalt is at the same time, how far beyond it is. And but a lot of the novel is more just
he makes that out of nowhere.
yeah, just like actually, it's Lone, because Lone can't even talk, and he's like, he's working on a farm, and because his name was Lone because he couldn't say alone properly, and he's like, oh, I need the horse died, I need to pull stuff, so I'll just make an anti-gravity machine.
Yeah. So that's
Okay.
great. I wanna jump into it then. All right, cool. So
Can I just say
we
the case about how you balancing Sturgeon and McElroy? No, I'm gonna marathon McElroy all night tonight.
yeah, he had to marathon this to get it done, and then he's back marathoning McElroy.
Oh yeah, I just
So yeah, we meet. Okay, so first off, this book started out as a novella. Were you aware of this, Ben?
No, I wasn't. I did no research and going to know.
Okay, so I didn't do any research either, but my buddy Jack over at Rambling Raconteur is another booktube channel. He wanted to read it, but he didn't have time to read it. And so he hit me today and was just like, hey, how'd you like it? And blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I like it a lot, man. It's really trippy and weird. And it seems like Sturgeon, this is his kind of thing. I see some Philip K. Dick. He probably influenced some Philip K. Dick ideas, really, because he's just so easy to go into some weird territory. And he goes,
that weird pulpy genre fiction element, yeah.
Right. He goes, when it comes down to it, the second part, which is Jerry just in the shrink's office the whole time, baby is 3, the second part, that was a novella. And then Theodore Sturgeon took the second part and wrote a first part and wrote a third part and tacked it on and made More Than Human out of it.
That's so funny because the second part was my favorite just because it was just all about the processes of thought. But like, if you were to ask me what section did he originally write, I'd probably say the first part. That's crazy that he wrote that the part with Lone, like he made that up beforehand. He made that up later and stuff like that. I mean, it was in the second part too, but that's really surprising.
Right. Yeah, I thought it cool. But so what this book came out of is Sturgeon exploring a psychoanalysis of a evolved human being. That's what it is. Is somebody pulling a psychoanalysis on an evolved human being that knows that he has a block and wants to get better, but doesn't know what to do. So he submits himself to this shrink. And it was cool. It was really cool.
I think a beautiful analogy for the book also, when they describe, like in the museum, all the different horses skeletons like that show evolution, and like the difference between number 15 and number 16 is like it's almost unidentifiable, but it's a huge difference. And just like the same thing is like it's like you can see, especially at the very end of the book, you can see where this Gestalt life form would go later on and be so much far advanced from us, but it's still like just one step ahead of us, so it's not too far out there.
Right. Yeah, I really liked it. I'm gonna do a video on my philosophical sci-fi series. I'm gonna do a video on that on this book because what happens is we create, Theodore Sturgeon creates a being that is a symbiotic relationship between so we got 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
5 by the end. 5 human beings need to work together to create this evolved human being that is immortal, almost omniscient, and completely capable of anything that it wants to do.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
So 2 things. One, the thing I love about this book that was pretty cool is like it doesn't have any morals, and at first like, oh, that's kind of weird. But then it's like they explain like why would it have morals? It's a species unto itself. There's no we have morals as humans, so we can keep our species going. This thing is like he explains it like it's comparing us to goats. Voltron, yeah. So it's like this thing doesn't have morals because there really isn't need to be morals because it's so much further than humans.
Right.
And 2, because Delaney, I got mixed up last time. Delaney said this was his favorite Sturgeon book. He's been pushing me to read it. Cool. I can see how Delaney lifted a concept directly from this book in Babel 17. Because in Babel 17, there's a ship, and in order to pilot the ship, you need you need 3 people to like track space and everything through, and it's a psychic link up, and it's like the very psychic sexual relationship between 3 pilots, and it's the nose, I think it's the mouth of the ears and the eyes. It might not be that. It might be the nose, mouth, and the ears. And it's like they almost take that body part, just kind of like how they describe it in this book, the hand, the head, and like the mind. So it just kind of like, I saw like, I didn't check if Babel 17 was written after this, but clearly you can totally see how this inspired Delaney, which is really cool.
Yeah, so he calls him, I say he because the mouthpiece and the action performing part of this being is the main character in the second and third parts named Gerald, but they call him Jerry. And he had a very rough life, very abandoned, neglected in his young life, and he gets taken in by this family. They're a family. They're actually one being. And he takes over the main role after the death of the one that you had talked about earlier, Lone. But Jerry is devoid of morality because, like you said, there's no other beings like this. And there's nothing for him to relate to. And it was just so awesome how I think that Sturgeon did the psychoanalysis in a very accessible way. Yeah. And then in the third part, when, and Sturgeon is so, and he did this in the Dreaming Jewels too, where you'll get a whole set of story, a whole bit of story, and then it'll break and you'll be in a totally different setting. Things have changed. Years have passed. And you're like, okay, and you just have to go with it, and then you get your bearings. And it's like, when the third part happens, Janie is a woman now, so it's obviously been another 5 to 7 years.
I thought that was Jared in the third part,
and Janie is alone, like she's not with the thing. So it was just this whole period where she's taking in this other guy. This guy breaks him out of prison and stuff, and how Hey, hey, Scott. Nice to see you, brother. Thanks for coming by the show. And no, I cannot start over. I'm sorry. Um, but feel free to rewind after we're done because More Than Human is a definitely a great read, and I loved how Sturgeon um how he
He,
solved the problem that he brought up in this. How an evolved being
yeah,
would
yeah,
find morality in relation to humans, to
yeah.
humanity, and at the end, some big ideas there, brother. It really
I was
brought
kind
out
of
some big ideas.
yeah. It's like it goes into like this whole thing. Like there's a lot more gestalts, but they're kind of like in this ethereal space, and there's a lot of different historical figures. And I was like,
Right.
wait, he mentions Henry Ford. That guy hated the Jews.
Right.
What was his morality?
Right. It was
Like, damn.
ridiculous. It was it was
But
it was done very well.
a few things I know because I like you said, like it leaves you adrift, and Sturgeon is really good at like hiding information and then introducing it later. So you're just like, where am I? And
Did you did you pick up on Jamie? Janie was reading Venus in Furs in the book.
what I don't know if Venus is first is.
It's
I
it's
saw
it's
that part, but is it an erotica?
yeah, and I mean, just it's about a guy who, you know, his woman. He wants his woman to just dominate him. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And that's what it's ridiculous. It's so good, but I mean, it's a classic. But Sturgeon is such, just like we saw in Dreaming Jewels. Sturgeon is a very literate writer. You know,
yeah.
he's very into.
Well,
Uh,
can I share two things that I've noticed and that was really interesting? So first, all three male men in each section of the story, in different
yeah,
men, this would sound damning in any other book, but it works in this one. They all have like the same setup. They're all people who have amnesia who don't remember their
right,
past life and finding
right,
themselves. And that's such
and
it's a
have
great
been abused and neglected and abused throughout
exactly. And
their young life.
you're just like, whoa, that sounds like I could do this three times. That sounds really boring in a 180-page book. It works. He does a great job of it. It doesn't get repetitive. And two, what I thought was interesting in the second part where Jared is introduced and he's in the psychiatrist's office, he's seen as a weak young boy and you feel really bad for him, Shelton. And it's like he's like you want him to improve and like it's like he killed somebody, but like what happened to this guy? And then in the third act, like just immediately, he's the main antagonist. And you're like, this guy is not a good person. So it goes from him finding himself to then finding his morality at the end. And it just happens so quickly. While other books like Brothers Karamazov or The Golden Pavilion by Yushima, it just like, it
Right,
takes a whole book to do that. And he just kind of does it like super quick, almost like as a side plot in a sense.
right. I gotta say, thank you, baby, for coming by. My wife Emily just got home. She's here now, but
Oh,
she's
nice.
also here. She's also here in the chat. So thanks
Hi,
for
Emily.
coming by. And Scott, this is the UK, the Southern UK edition of Flannery O'Connor's complete short stories. Just so you know which one. Put out by Faber, Faber.co.uk. I found it at the thrift store earlier. Um, Sturgeon likes writing these damaged characters, very damaged characters, and showing that they have a lot of potential. And
Yeah.
Sturgeon likes writing abusive people
Yeah, he
because in
does.
Dreaming Jewels, the main character's father was one of these characters that you love to hate. He is
Oh,
a
yeah.
horrible person. And what was it? Yeah, the girls at the beginning, the Mrs. Q's dad.
Yeah, just
He was
like
such a brainwashed maniac
yeah.
that was, kind of flowers in the attic style, keeping these girls locked in their house, never seeing anybody else, never
Don't
seeing the
even
outside
can't even look
world.
at themselves naked. Yeah.
Right. And right when things went sideways, according to his plans, what's he do? He shoots himself.
Yeah.
It was just a very insane opening to this story.
Yeah.
I mean, for 180 pages, that's why I say that's another thing that's like very Philip K. Dick about this, because this Emily says, nope, I'm at the store getting milk. um, at 180 pages, and the whole middle section is a conversation between one character and a psychologist.
And it's great. Yeah.
I can't believe how much Sturgeon packed into this novel.
Yeah, but it's like, but it doesn't feel inaccessible. And one thing also, like you mentioned Philip K. Dick, and I agree with you, like on the pulpy elements. The difference I would say from Dick, though, is that Sturgeon is a lot more integrated with those elements into his story. Like he introduces them, like, no, the story is based off that. Well, Dick, because I talked about it, it feels like he brings them up and he almost forgets about them. Like in Ubix, like, oh, she can change the past. And then for like 150 pages, like, why isn't she changing the past?
Hey, Steve, nice to see you, brother. Thanks for coming by, even though, we're getting to another Theodore Sturgeon now. All good, though. Nice to see you, man. And yeah, I mean, Philip K. Dick does. Show the kitty. Theodore Sturgeon does. Or Philip K. Dick does bring up elements, very interesting and awesome elements to a story, and then just leaves them alone. And it's like he forgot about them. For sure, it's ridiculous. But what we said, Philip K. Dick is not a very good writer. Period. He's an idea man.
Yeah, if you like Dick, like if you like his ideas, read Sturgeon, because he does like the same things, but it's just such a better story. Like the amount of ground this covers, it's really impressive. It's and you don't realize how. I mean, I guess you do, but it's like in some books where you're reading Pynchon, like you were talking about Against the Day earlier, and sometimes you're like, man, this is so dense, so much is happening, which is great, and I love that stuff. But so much happens in here, but you don't get that information overload like you will with other maximalist writers and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, I like it. I really enjoyed it. I appreciate you turning me onto it and prompting this read along, man. It's it's been cool to get into some Sturgeon.
Yeah, thank you, Laney, on this. He kept recommending it to me.
Is there another Sturgeon you're doing soon, or is there something you want to?
I have to read like another small book, and I really got to get on RAM a bit more.
How far have you gotten? How far have you gotten?
I'm like on page 300, and I need to be on page 430 by tomorrow.
Right. Y'all started in February, though, right?
Yeah, at the beginning of this month, and like this is my 8th McElroy book.
Yeah, it should be old hat by now, right?
Yeah, I was talking to George, and he's like, dude, how did you read so many pages? Because I spent an all-nighter and did like 70, 80 pages. Like, dude, how did you do that? Reading like 6 pages an hour. Like, dude, that was me like with Lookout Cartridge, but like I'm on my 8th book, so in my 8th book in like 4.5 months, it's like I finally think I got the process, hopefully now.
Nice. And I mean, dude, I've read every Pynchon except for this and Mason and Dixon. And dude, I started before February 1st, and I'm on page 337. Yeah. So it just is what it is. I mean, these authors, these really dense authors. But I said earlier, I don't know if you heard, this is the most accessible Pynchon, I think.
That's funny. I was going to comment on that because it took me a year and a half to read Pynchon, all of it. I wasn't as big a fan as Against the Day, and I think a part of me might have been it was my last Pynchon book. Yeah. And maybe there was some elements later on where I wish I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I wish he kind of went more into the genre elements in a sense. But it's maybe a book that I might need to reread in the future. I'd probably more recommend it for Pynchon diehards, to be honest. So that's funny. We have different opinions on that one.
Well, I mean, I arguably, I'm only through the first third of the book. I'm really enjoying it. But I'm in the middle of the Western, the Traverse family.
Right. I'm not a fan of Westerns.
All the Traverse family. It's awesome. It's
That's
awesome.
My favorite part.
Their whole family is so dispersed in all these different and Lake being married to the killers. I mean, it's
real
just
sad.
Insane. I can't believe that Pynchon is doing this. So I'm really digging it. But it's weird, that's for sure. But the thing is like I just all I'm really prepared to say at this point is that it's an accessible read for Pynchon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm really digging. I'm really just like reading it. You know what I mean? I'm reading it slow. I mean,
Right.
you know, I read 180 pages in the Sturgeon in 2 days, and I've read 350 pages or something in Against the Day in
And that's
two
just
weeks.
Pynchon. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't
in
read
two
Pynchon
weeks.
fast.
Right. So
um,
that's how it is, and that's how you're going with women and men.
yeah, and like I will say Against the Day, like maybe because it's his longest book, he doesn't do those with Gravity Rainbow and Mason and Dixon, but he does pull back on the prose a little bit. So it is a bit more accessible, but just on a line-to-line basis as well. But
Right.
I think the thing that's the bigger barrier to entry is like, again, Pynchon being Pynchon, the density of it, and two, just how long it is as well.
Right. Yeah, it'll put readers off, that's for sure. And yeah, I think you're exactly right. You know, the flowery, the kind of pinch on
Oh,
prose that
he,
kind of pops in is less than others that I've read because there's more narrative and there's more dialogue. There's more just straight dialogue and narrative at this point in the book of
I'm
uh,
gonna
pretty much anything that
I'm
I've
gonna
read. Go
spoil
ahead.
a small quick thing. First off, Ryan, you're 60 pages behind and you lead the group. Oh my god! But like first off, there if you are gonna get a very Pynchonian thing. Later on, there's like a kind of like a I think it's a drug-induced dream sequence. It's a it's a full page sentence, or like full page and a
Nice.
half sentence, and it's just like what is happening. So he does add those elements, but it's not like if you read the beginning of Gravity's Rainbow and you're like, oh my god, this is too much for me. It's not that throughout this book.
Nice.
How
Yeah,
was the books better than food review?
it was of Gravity's Rainbow. It was good. I
Yeah,
mean, he there's no spoilers except for maybe just calling out some of the kind of characters and you know just the kind of stuff that we all know. If you've read it, I mean, you know the
right, right.
trudge. There's a lot of trudge through and meaningfully so. There's a
I,
lot of
I I read it
is
twice.
is this real or is this not? Is this paranoia
Right,
or is this facts that are adding up to something kind of stuff? And you know, the book is kind of inconclusive on that. But
right.
it's just the way that it goes. That's pretty much
I
all
read
you
that
can
book.
do.
I read that book twice. Actually, fun fact, guys. If you go on the book chemist, his read through of Gravity's Rainbow, I fell off of it because I did finish it, but I fell off of it.
Yeah,
He puts one of my comments in his I think it's like part six or something like that.
nice.
But yeah, but I was wondering because not to throw too much shade, but sometimes books better than food. I like him, but sometimes I feel like he doesn't. He talks more about the author and the history sometimes more than the book at times.
Sure. Well, and he doesn't spoil. He's here to market. He's a
Yeah,
marketer. He's
yeah,
turning people onto it and selling books, baby. That's what it's about. Oh, really? When you're on that level, I mean, dude, New
sure.
York Review of Books is giving him, you know, all their publications there.
Really? Are they really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He said they're just supporting the channel by giving him books. New York
Huh.
Review of Books is great. Is a great
Do you,
publisher.
do you talk to him?
No. I mean,
Okay.
I've had email back and forth with him over an unrelated matter. It's Cliff's a good guy. He's a cool guy.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
because
you
you
know,
do some background stuff like, yeah, how does no one know this?
he's a funny guy. That's for sure. Um, but you know, I did because I read Gravity's Rainbow years ago now, and so when I saw the book chemists uh, read through and all those
Yeah.
videos, I wasn't watching them and keeping up with the read through, but I saw the playlist, so I just started watching them all, and I watched them all, and it was so cool to like revisit the narrative and what's going on and stuff through those videos. They're really a service to the booktube community.
Oh yeah. And this Gravity's Rainbow the second time through, so much more accessible. Like I understood it so well. There's only like one part where like it's with Lucero when he's like going through the desert, and I had that's the only part I really had like the shaky on. But everything else, I was like, and maybe because I already read all of Pynchon the second time through, I'm like this is not as difficult as I remember it to be. But also maybe because I read all of Pynchon, I was already a better reader, and maybe like the same thing with Wham's, like not as hard as I expected, but I'm 8 books into McElroy, so it's just one of those things. Like, is this hard, or is it just like you're used to it at this point?
Right. That's what I'm talking about, Republic of Bad Taste. He says, I also feel that Cliff could have made it a bit longer. Isn't it less than 20 minutes? See, Cliff
Yeah, it's
isn't going to
19.
make a video over 20 minutes. Do you know why? Because he won't get the click rate and the impressions and all that kind of stuff that he wants, because he's you know that's his shtick. But Chris Villa will sit and do an hour-long video on or more on Infinite Jest
I gotta watch that still.
and do it right, dude. It was cool, huh? I didn't watch the whole thing because I haven't read Infinite Jest, so I'm not one to just kind of give myself too much. I want to get it from, man. I've really gotten into David Foster Wallace through reading Oblivion now. It's just been an amazing read.
Nice.
So I think I'm gonna do Broom of the System, and then I might do Infinite Jest.
I heard Broom of the System is kind of like a Crying of Lot 49 fanfic in a sense. Like, I say fanfic just because that's the way he said it. I don't think it's like, but it's like it was inspired. Just kind of how Moonlight was kind of like inspired by Gravity's Rainbow from Michael Chabon.
Right. Very cool. Yeah, I think that when it comes down to it,
spill the tea, Noah.
Yeah, you see it. So I lost my train of thought. Okay, I was turned on to reading Broom of the System next because Jack at Rambling Raconteur again is a great channel. His wife is a voracious reader as well, and she loves David Foster Wallace, and said that The Broom of the System is actually her favorite book.
Wow. Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna, I'll go ahead and take that one as my first.
I want to hear what you thought about it, because I have a Japanese book by Kobe Abe called I think I'm saying that right. I might be getting mixed up with the food, but he has a book called The Arc Sakurai, and in that there's like a broomsmen who like street sweepers, like as a kind of a pseudo fake apocalypse thing, who try to invade them. And I was kind of wondering, like, is this a Brooms of the System David Foster Wallace reference? And
right.
So I don't know. So I want to compare, because I'm not going to read Brooms of the System. So
yeah, I mean that was the one Yasmin had said that he wrote that as his thesis. Right?
Thesis, yeah.
Right. So it's early, early ideas. But see, I'm all about that. I'm really all about that. I want to read an author's debut novel. Any author that I love, I want to read their debut novel.
You guys like debut novels. There's one going around.
This is the one. I mean, dude, See Above, Sun Below is the bottom, is the bomb. I'm going to put, I'll link my video. And Ben, you did a review of that one as well, right?
I feel like I was talking to George about that today, because I was like, dude, you get so many great reviews on this book. I feel like I was the most critical one out of everybody, though.
Cool. Yeah, I did a review of that one back when I read it as well. It was like in October of 2020, I think.
Oh yeah, I watched your review on it actually. Yeah, I think that's how I found out about your channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, it was a great book. It was a mind blow of a debut.
Yeah, there was some scenes I'm like, dude, how did he do this at like 2023? And I actually I read these books. Like, that's not an answer.
Did it make you think of Melancholia at all?
I haven't seen Melancholia yet.
Oh, damn. It's a great.
I know.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a great movie. Okay, I wouldn't say that. But the images and the way that things work out in Melancholia, the way the images play with in the narrative, made me think of See Above, Sun Below. Made me think of that movie, because Chris Villa wrote an introduction to that for the World Edition, right? And he compares it to a Darren Aronofsky. Is that The Fountain is the one that he compares it to?
Oh God, I had the introduction right here actually.
Yeah.
But
What does he compare it to? He compares it to, is it The Fountain?
it might be. I'm going through it. Novel like Eugene Curran, Carl.
I love Aronofsky's work. I love Aronofsky's movies.
Yeah, David Aronofsky, particularly The Fountain and Mother.
Right. Dude, Mother is I it's so good, but I've watched it one time
Mm.
because it's hardcore, man.
I
Mother
gotta
is
watch it.
hardcore, man. I love it though.
Oh,
But just
I
the
want
end
to.
is so hard.
With Plato, I think Maya's metaphysical fiction. Actually, when you first subbed your comment on my profiles, like it's like I thought David Foster Wallace was dead, so you tripped me up for a second with your thumb with your icon. But thanks for the liking the interview. Yeah, Naked Singularity is pretty good. I probably wouldn't put it up there with the Titans, but like as a Maximus love, I think it's really enjoyable and it's really cool. And it's a really fun read. I just picked it up when I was in at the International Book Fair in Oakland, and I saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, I gotta go outside my comfort zone because I had a cool cover." And yeah, it's a cool read.
Nice. Yeah, I have not read The Naked Singularity. I saw it the last time that I was downtown at my favorite bookstore downtown Atlanta. And I recognized it. Like they had it facing forward and I recognized it and I was like, man,
My cat was over it.
nice.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, man, maybe I should grab that one. And I was like, I already had two or three in my hands.
Well, there's a movie coming out of it this year with John Boyega as the lead.
They're making a movie of The Naked Singularity.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Yeah, I've been tagging John Boyega in in the stuff to get more traction.
God, I love good old Neon. You're gonna really enjoy my video on that one, Republic of Bad Taste. You're gonna really enjoy that because we got some cool stuff. I mean, we've pulled cool stuff out of uh all the stories in Oblivion. So very cool. All right.
Oh, wait,
You
really
got
quickly.
anything else to say, Ben?
Yeah, do you guys want to see something cool?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Of course we do. Do I want to see something cool? I always want to see something cool, right? That's what we're here for, especially if it is cool and to do with books. Yes, I
We
did
talk
see
about
this
book
on your
gifts.
Instagram.
Finally came in.
Bring it,
Yeah, yeah. It was huge, man. And
dude.
like
Show it.
I tried to read
What? You
first.
can't lift it? What? You can't even lift it?
I tried to get it in. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the camera while seeing it, but like I try to read the first paragraph. I'm like, oh God, how do I read this? And then like I talked to George, like, hey man, where should I start? And he's like, read his early fiction. I'm like, don't tell me to read more. That's not an
No,
answer. So
read School for Atheists.
School for
That's
Atheists. Okay.
that's the introduction. That's the kind of thing that is the precursor to Bottom's
Uh,
Dream
I
as
have
far as
his early
style.
novellas, and
Right.
and then I messaged Leaf by Leaf like because and I was like, hey man, like how do I go about this? He's like, buy this book also, and it's gonna take you 3 months to read it. So I was like, okay,
Sure.
I'm pushing this off till next year.
Yeah, you just take a dust jacket off of another one of your books. You take the
Mhm.
jacket off, right? And
Yeah,
there's your bookmark.
yeah, you're not wrong. Oh my God, you're not wrong.
I'm not. There's your bookmark, baby.
Yeah, so here's a.
You take
I got
a
it
you
in the
take
mail. I'm
a
like,
book
what
off.
the hell is this package? So, um, it came in from Germany too, which is funny. I got the translated copy from Germany. I don't know why.
Nice. Fantastic, brother. Yeah, what an amazing book. All
Yep.
right, well we've crushed an hour. It's at a 104, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it, y'all. That is what Myers Metaphysical Musing says. What the heck is it? That is Bottom's Dream by
No,
Arno Schmidt.
it's it's the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It is a book called Bottom's Dream by Arno Schmidt.
Yeah,
Experimental writer, completely
very Wakian.
insane. So
Yeah,
very cool. I'm gonna
All right.
call it.
Oh,
Thank you
also,
very
really
much,
quick
Ben.
thing, one quick plug.
Yeah.
I'm 5 subscribers away from 200. So I'm not saying that you're a bad person if you don't subscribe, but you're the coolest person I know to stream if you do subscribe.
That's right. Head over to let's see, what is it? It's Bookshore.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
That's the channel.
Gotta hit that
Bookshore
plug.
on YouTube. Definitely check him out. He's a great reader. We've
Oh, thanks,
we've
man.
had some fun doing some buddy reads already, and
And
so
also, I
more
know
to
you have to
come,
end the
brother.
stream. Just so you know, everybody, I said this to Noah, and I want to make it public. He's like the nicest dude on BookTube. So I'm glad you all guys are all supporting him out there, and just to have him like making that video about me, like you gotta look at this guy. He's super nice. So I'm really always grateful to like work with you on stuff like this. It's always fun, Noah.
Thank you, brother, for
Yeah.
sure. I look forward to more buddy reads in the future, and just kind of building the community. Community is of strong readers, man. Strong readers. That's what
Buddy
it's all
read? No,
about.
we'll do a video if you because you read Ram later, Women and Men. Let's do
Yeah,
a video together on that later this year.
let's do it.
Sound
Let's do it and blow people's minds.
Yeah. We'll do a 24-hour stream.
Very cool.
All right. Thanks so much,
Hey,
Noah. You have a great day, man.
Philip Friedenberg is in the house. Very cool. All right, we are busting out. Thank you, Ben. See you later, brother. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for coming by. Ryan, a Republic of Bad Taste. Philip, showing at the end, all good. Bookish Brian, Scott, and Becky, always awesome to have you by. Steve Donahue showed up. Yasmin to the Lit House. Christy Louise Dostoevsky in Space. My boy Moto Hero from Instagram, always coming by, having some fun with us. Danny at Spinelli Speaks. Summer at Cozy Reading with the Quaker Cats. The Room Note. And I'm sure there's a lot that I forgot. But just try to call out everybody because I really do appreciate everybody that comes by and makes these Friday streams so fun. And I'm gonna keep it going. Always have cool stuff to talk about. Always have guests, people around, whatever it comes down to. So thank you very much, y'all. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cool? Yep, Valentine's Day, right? Have a good one. Later, y'all. Bye bye.